Solway. This is an introductory video for first year Latin. You'll be getting your own book pretty soon. This is the Jenney's version. It's called Jenney because Jenney is the first name of the writers. I would like to start talking about the introduction and what our focus is going to be on in this class. So, I want you to turn to the introduction in your book, XI, and we will talk about the various things we'll be discussing, and we'll talk about our personal focus in learning Latin. Okay, the first thing we need to know is that Latin and English both come from the Indo-European languages, and although they both come, they are from separate families. English is a Germanic language, and Latin is its own family, and it has Romance language such as Spanish, Portuguese, French, Italian, and Romanian. Those are called Romance languages, not because they're romantic, but because they're from Rome, Roma. We are going to learn that word order is not necessary in Latin. Although we need word order in English to understand what we are talking about, we do not need to have the word order specifically in Latin to understand. There are endings. It's an inflected language. The ending will tell you which comes first, which is the subject, which is the direct object, which is the indirect object. And in general, in classical Latin, the verb is at the end, just like Yoda speaks. I love the girl is how we normally say it, but in Latin and Yoda, if you know anything about Yoda, you would say the girl I love. So you need to learn the endings to understand the sentences in Latin. Now, we're going to do a lot of the readings in this book, but because some of them may be inappropriate as far as not talking about our God, sometimes I will give you your own reading in this book, Novum Testamentum Latine, which is the New Testament in Latin. You can compare it to your King James if you want, but you'll see that the word order is definitely different, but it will be meaning the same. Okay, there are 6 cases in Latin. In most books, you learn 5, that you would write it in a paradigm of 5 different cases, and we will discuss them first, and then we'll go back and discuss the extra one that you'll need to know. The first one on XI is the nominative. It names the subject. I'm going to have you write in a notebook various things, and you will get a notebook grade. The first thing you're going to write down in this notebook are the different cases of nouns, starting as it says in XI, nominative. You don't have to write it all out. You just need to know that the nominative is the subject of the sentence. Vocative is the extra one. Generally, people will go nominative, genitive. Genitive is possession. The boy's car, the car of the boy, that is possession. Who owns it? It would have the genitive case. The dative case expresses an indirect object. Accusative case generally is the direct object. I love the girl. The girl is the direct object. And ablative has different functions. It can express separation from, location, in or on, not to. Do not use ablative for to Italy, the in or on Italy. I am living in Italy would be the ablative case. Then there's instrument, with, or anything with, actually. She jumped with joy. We dug with shovels. I walked with the boy. All of those will take the ablative case. And we're going to learn these endings for the first declension when we get to it. Then the vocative. The vocative is direct object, like hello Marcus. You'd say Salve Marque, hello Marcus. The gender of nouns. All nouns have genders. Whether, boy, of course, is masculine, girl is, of course, feminine, and liber, book, is also masculine. So things you wouldn't think is masculine or feminine may be masculine, maybe feminine. There is also the neuter case. You'll find that. Bellum is neuter, and you'll learn those later. But I just want to give a brief overview for this introduction. There are different tenses of verbs, different verb endings that will indicate whether it's present or future or past tense. And we will learn that. Right now we're just, like I said, doing an overview. The pronunciation of Latin. On XIII, it discusses the alphabet. Generally, in classical Latin, there are 23 letters, which means there are 2 missing. And this should be easy for you to learn. J and W are missing. So you will not have a J, you will not have a W. Sorry, I was trying to scoot up. But later on, they do add a J, but in our class, there's no J and there's no W in the alphabet. In the dictionary I'm sending you, right there, Latin and English dictionary, there are J's in the dictionary in Latin. But for our class, we're going to learn that the J consonant sound is marked with an I instead. So instead of Jesus, J-E-S-U-S, it'd be Jesus, I-E-S-U-S. And as far as the majority of pronunciation, we are not going to worry about it. This is not a conversational Latin class. I may start the class like Salve, which means hello. I may speak some Latin to you. However, it is not going to be our focus. Our focus is going to be on learning derivatives, so you learn English words that come from Latin, learning how the language works, learning how Latin works, possibly being able to read the Latin Bible, but also medical terminology. I know you're going to want to know that. For instance, lupus is a Latin word that means wolf, and it comes from Latin meaning wolf because someone thought that the mask, the redness on the face of a lupus person resembled that of a wolf. And that is your first medical word. You just learned it comes from Latin. So we're going to talk about those things as well. I want you to know that the C is pronounced hard always. For instance, we say Caesar's house, but in Latin it'd be Kaiser because the C's are hard. Or we would say Cicero, talking about the ancient writer, but it would be Cicero in Latin. That pretty much covers the introduction. I'm going to stop this video and we will start talking about the first chapter of Jenney in the next video.